up. Uh, so if you're watching on the replay, don't get too excited. I don't plan to be on very long. What I want to do is just remind people or let people know if they haven't heard already that I'm going to be doing a live talk show tomorrow, which is Thursday, April 25th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, which is about 3 o'clock in the afternoon Pacific, with my friend Floyd Marshall Jr. So you want to go to his page and check that out. See who's in the room. Got one person watching. Is that me? Let me see if I can open up the chat. At least 1 minute is needed to start a highlight. I don't need a highlight. It's AG play. Okay, good. Josh, hey. Okay, it's starting to fill in. Hanlon. Yes, it's just what is it, about 11:15 Eastern time, and it's been a minute. Today was essentially, well, tomorrow is essentially my last day of classes at Temple for the semester. So I'm not anxious like I normally would be on a Wednesday night to be grading papers or to be preparing a lecture. So I wanted to jump in. I'm not sure why the chat's disappearing. Let me see if I hit that button. Okay, I can see everybody now. So Josh is in the building. We've got 70 people in the room. This is exciting. How's everybody doing? And you can sort of ask me anything. Viral drip, that's what's up. Are we the chosen people of God? Yes, we are. I'll say yes, we are to answer that question. Um, why God chose us, that's another question. Um, but thank you, Kaiser Soze. Thank you for all that you do. Hey, RJ, we're just hanging out. So now we're seeing a little dip. 59 people in the room. Um, in Grant's Pass, I'd love to know where people are. Hey, Takashi Mandela's in the building. Let me tilt this down a pinch. Molly's sleeping. I'll get her to show up in a minute. Are you and Charles Woods going to do a review? I did a review. We did a review. If you look at the last, well, Charles is not going to waste his time on Good Times. Um, but I saw Good Times, and my basic take on that was the very first scene of the cartoon opens with the father character singing butt naked in a shower, in the shower, with in a duet of the original Good Time song with a cockroach. So you have a singing cockroach and this guy butt naked in the shower. Now, I'm not against singing cockroaches, but I'll tell you the truth. If he had killed the cockroach after they finished the song, then I would have been on board. But the fact that they made the cockroach a friendly character in the show just shows the ineptitude of what this show is about. Hey, Kimberly, it's running by fast. I'm using my tablet, and the chat's moving pretty quick. I appreciate it. I don't know if any mods are in there in the building, but what it's doing, it's and hopefully you can hear me okay. What it's doing, it's like showing up for a second and disappearing. Okay, now I see it. Kaiser Soze, Ruben, hey, salute. I haven't seen you in a while. I follow Ruben on Instagram, but I haven't seen him on Instagram in a minute either. Hey, brother. Hey, from Birmingham. Yeah, I'm in Philly. Can sing the OG. They never mentioned any past problems. Yeah. Hey. Yeah, so what's going on? I got my Shabadoo shirt on. So I don't know if I didn't text Vashawn, but I'm wearing his shirt. Let me text him now in case he wants to pop in. I can't take a chat call, but my friend Vashawn Quinones is on YouTube live wearing wearing your shirt. Anyway, New York's in the building. Windex. Where else is? Oh, so yeah, you got to see the Shabu shirt. NYC. A lot of people up late. So what are people having for dinner or had for dinner? Oh, I got to show you this. This is kind of important. Brooklyn's in the house. Al's here. Step two. Keep chatting. I'll come right back. I got to show you this. This came in the mail. Right back. They didn't pack this very well. This is exciting to me from Powerhouse Books in New York. They do a lot of photographic books and things like that. So I don't know who they got to mail this, but it's not. I don't want to show the address. I can open it this way. Surprise! So I was super duper excited for this to come in the mail. Black is Beautiful. Jet Beauties of the Week. It's a book of photography by my friend who I interviewed. I'm going to post his interview up. Lamont Macklemore from the Fifth Dimension. And well, you can see my reflection in the book cover. So Lamont was a member of the Fifth Dimension. Hey, Bonita. And his side hustle or his initial hustle, it turns out, like I remember as a kid being in the barbershop back in the 70s and reading Jet magazines. And all in the small print would be Lamont Macklemore's name. And then I found out later that he was a member of the Fifth Dimension. I said, wow, he must have an amazing archive of photographs. So when I got a chance to meet him, I think I reached out to him on social media first. This is maybe 10 years ago. And eventually ended up in Las Vegas where he lives with his beautiful wife. And we did like an hour-long sit-down, opening it up. And he told me the story of how he first started a magazine. It was called Elegant Magazine. If you can find a copy of Elegant Magazine, they go for a lot of money now on eBay whenever they pop up. But it was intended, him and John Daniels, who had the famous club in Los Angeles. The name's escaping me right now. But John Daniels, also star of Black Shampoo, and him, oh gosh, what's the name of that club? Somebody help me. Buy Another and Don't Open? I got to show you the pictures. They started a magazine called Elegant Magazine, and it was an upscale magazine for affluent Black people. And it came out after Ebony Magazine. It was sort of like a Gentleman's Quarterly for Black people. And they did it for a few years. It spread out into Elegant Teen Magazine as well. They have a lot of great photographs of like Motown acts. They had a relationship with Motown Records and different record companies. And he shared a few issues with me. Let me see if I can find the cover of it on my phone, because I can find pictures of me and Lamont pretty easily with the search. But anyway, he was a photographer first before he got into music. I think they ended up winning a Grammy or two. Fifth Dimension, you couldn't escape them in the 60s, Age of Aquarius and all that stuff. And so, my thought at the time was what it would be great to make a documentary about Jet Beauties of the Week. And, you know, have Lamont's photography featured. And so I made the journey. I went out to see him. Around the same time, I went to see Antonio Fargas, and I went to see Monique when she was doing her residency there. Oh, he's in Henderson. That's why I can't find it. Nevada, Henderson, West Henderson. Yeah. So let me hold it this way. That's a cop. That's an issue of Elegant magazine. So, and what they would do, that they go to different cities and take pictures. Hey, Vishon's in the house. Um, so that's Elegant magazine, and he was like one of the publishers and photographers of it. And he had some great stories. I'm going to share them with you in the next week or two, as well as tell people about this book, um, Black is Beautiful, the Jet Beauties of the Week. So let's see if I can, ooh, my goodness. Ooh, my Lord. You know, and what's interesting about Lamont, he had a bachelor pad for a long time in Los Angeles, and women would want to be photographed by him, but not want to pay. And he wasn't having it. He's like, look, if I take your picture, you're paying me. We're not doing this on trade. I was in the music group. I traveled the world. So, uh, yeah, God is good all the time. Was it Candace Owens? All the time. Let me see if I can find Jane Kennedy. She wrote the foreword. Oh, yeah. So Lamont had quite the eye. And that was part of his mission statement to show, and even with the Fifth Dimension, was to show Black people as elegant, sophisticated, and beautiful. Um, Let me see if I can find Jane Kennedy. She's featured in here as well. It's all color, which is interesting because a lot of times, oh, here we go. This is Miss Kennedy. So, and I've already stained it with my fingerprints. So yeah, you're right. Maybe I need to get another copy on Amazon. I think it's about $40. Black is Beautiful. Yes. Let's see. Yeah, I think most of the photos in the book are outtakes. I believe Johnson Publishing owns the original photos that were used as Beauty of the Weeks, and this is just taking the name Beauties of the Week. These are women that appeared in Jet, but these are from his personal negatives and so on and so forth. So I believe that's the concept of the book. But let me see what the chat's saying. Uh, have I been going live often? Hey, Voyeur's in the building. I've been teaching, so this is the first night off I've had. I try to go live at least once a week. Maybe this Saturday we'll go live. Depends on whether I can get some Hannibal Buress tickets or not. But I just wanted to jump on tonight, show off the Shabadoo shirt, and see what people are up to. So, is everybody eating good? Um, I'm tapping this. I think I know what I'm doing. I just keep tapping it, right? Trying to find the chat. Yeah, so just do a documentary. Well, that's what I wanted to do. Oh, so I didn't finish the story, Supremo. So I went out to Vegas to meet Lamont, and he's just so nonchalant, right? I was excited about it. Like, wow, wouldn't it be great to do a Jet Beauties of the Week documentary? And he's like, yeah, whatever, man. I'm cool. I'm retired. Yeah, Hannibal Buress is playing at Helium this weekend. Um, so I told him the last time I saw him, and people, let me see if I can find a photo of him. I said, it's a great topic for a movie, but you're not the fascinating person that I thought that's needed to sell the movie, right? And then shortly after that, he had some health thing happen, and but he's still around. That's Elegant Magazine. So it's a fascinating story. What I did do, we didn't really get into. Oh gosh, this is like 5 years ago. I really dropped the ball, but there's a whole story about Elegant Magazine, which is really interesting. But maybe one day, especially with artificial intelligence coming around now, there might be a way to recreate the story. I have his audio of him talking about making the magazine elegant, some fascinating stories about that little known history. And maybe with AI, I can make like a little short video or something like that, telling people how to about about that period of time. But he turned me on to the what was it called, the W Resort in Vegas, and I went out to Vegas a few times to see him and to just spend time. This is pre-pandemic, but everything's been a little different. This is me in Vegas. Oh wow, I didn't realize I had that hat that long. But yeah, so you know, what's I'm trying to figure out how to hit this so I can read the chat, live chat, live chat. Oh, there it goes. Spaghetti. What's it? Where'd that come? Oh, you made spaghetti, right? I forgot what people had. Dope. Um, hey, Bonita, thank you for joining us. What's interesting, and Voyeur, say hi to Bonita. Voyeur, we've got some regulars here in the chat. What happens often while I'm talking, the chat will catch up with itself because we used to do music mornings. In the mornings, I'd play music before AI caught up and started flagging us while we were playing them live. But what'll happen? We have a lot of regular folks that they'll catch up with one another because of the chat. So, Bonita, welcome to the club, so to speak. What else is going on? Did I get anything else in the mail this week? Uh, Vashawn would know. We we're gonna. I'll be doing an unboxing on some Blue Underground stuff. I don't know what happened, but I got an email that they're shipping out some Blue Underground products. So I'll be doing some reviews probably the next time that I'm on live. But you should be getting a package in the mail, Vashawn, if if they're doing what they promised to do. Um, so well, there's people. Let's see. More Paul Mooney, more Paul Mooney stand up. Well, only through AI can we do more Paul Mooney stand up. Any more Dick Gregory videos? Yes, I do. Have a couple minutes of footage that I have not released in the archives, but for the most part, that was almost 10 years ago. Uh, Kaiser, I appreciate the love. Uh, let's see. I'm sure there will be tickets available. I just don't want to pay for tickets, and they said that for Hannibal Buress. So they are expecting a sellout on Saturday. They don't want to give me free tickets for some reason. 14 years and counting. Been with you, Kaiser. So really, 14 years since the beginning. Uh, I really appreciate that. Makes me feel good. Awesome. Whoa. I got taste. Let's see. All right. I wish this worked a little bit better. Hey, Vashon. Um, Paul Mooney would be relentless about all this stuff happening now. Yeah, it's a shame. Can I buy you a pizza? Well, if somebody sent me some money, I'd be happy to pay it forward and buy you a pizza. I've done that in the past. Cash App people. So, um, welcome all new members. So, yeah, Cash App me a request and I'll pay it forward. If anybody wants to buy a pizza for this young lady, I'm happy to be the conduit of that. So my Cash App is Reelblack, and then if she puts in a request, what's pizza nowadays? Like $15, $20 for pizza. I'm happy to pay that forward, but I'm gonna be in arrears this summer. This school year is over and nothing's lined up at this point. Trying to get some things going. Uh, I just want to stay busy. That's my main goal for the summer, is not to let too many days go by where I'm not being productive. Uh, it's gonna go by really fast, these 3 months or 2 months, and I just don't want to blow it. So let me see if I can find a picture of me and Lamont Macklemore. Uh, let's see, Henderson trip, Nevada. Anybody from Nevada watching? I want to get back out there, but you know, we gotta get the numbers up. Subscribe to Real Black too. Do I have things on Marian Anderson? There is a Marian Anderson video on the channel. Any chance of killing affair with OJ? No, I don't want to mess with movies anymore on the channel. Maybe once in a while I'll put a movie up. We had Gordy and the Boxer was on the channel for the longest time, but I took it down when they started threatening us with, these. What happens? That's Lamont Macklemore, great guy, and what happens is YouTube will let you do anything basically, but if you get caught, it's on you, right? So during the pandemic, we put a lot of content up that was really helping to gravitate people towards one another. Hey, Eugene, Oregon's in the building, and you can use my phone. Well, I'm always happy to put um, anybody's stuff up if they own it. If they want more viewers, just reach out. We'll be doing some live interviews and things over the summer as well. But typically, this is game, and it may be different now. It's been 2 years in March since we were demonetized, so I don't even know how it works. And on every video is my email address except for this one because we're live. But if you go to any video, just email me and we'll figure it out, John. So Little Caesars, Little Caesars is about to close. If you're on the East Coast, but what happens? What happens is, or it used to. I don't know if it still does. I mean, artificial intelligence has taken over everything at this point, and then almost as soon as you post something, you get a demonetization on the clip. But what typically happens is if you put something up that doesn't belong to you, if it has music in it or other rights issues that are underlying. And the money goes to those rights holders. So don't use the mail.com anymore. I'm getting too much spam. So use the Real Black Ink at live.com for the mail.com. I check maybe twice a month at this point because it's just so much spam coming through that email address. But anyway, so typically we could do. It's not your fault, where typically, I would post something. I wouldn't get paid for it, but the rights would go. The money would go to whoever the rights holder would be, or it would get a block immediately, right? So that's what gave us a lot of wiggle room to post up historical content and curate the channel in that manner. Then around, I'd say 3 years ago, 4 years ago, corporations started to see, um, we have a Patreon, yes. So corporations would start to not put a block or demonetize, but give a copyright strike for the stuff. And that typically was an avenue that individuals would use to get their stuff taken down. Corporations would either block it completely or say, give us the money. They weren't issuing strikes. But when Warner Brothers issued me 2 strikes in a row, like the same week, we caught 2 strikes from Warner Brothers. That's when I took a whole bunch of stuff off the channel, like Goldie and the Boxer, because I just didn't want to wake up and not be able to repair it. Not be able to reverse the strike through negotiation. And these corporations are so big that there's no sympathy. So that's what the change was. Warner's, the guy over there is a little crazy. What are my thoughts on the current cartoon anime industry? That's a good question. I don't really watch anime. If my cousin Jimmy were here, he'd probably have a lot of things to say. Oh, Rare Gems is in the house. Check out Rare Gems. All right, let me give Rare Gems a commercial. I don't know how you do it, but I love Rare Gems. Rare Gems is a great YouTube resource. This gentleman or woman or whoever it is, the Rare Gem people, I don't know where they have their archive from, but if you're interested in any of those black shows that used to come on UPN, WB, NBC, the black sitcoms primarily is what I notice on Rare Gems. But they have whole seasons of these things. Right. And I go there quite often to check stuff out. Like I think he's got, I'm just going off the top of my head, so I could be wrong. But Charlie and Company, which is the Flip Wilson and Gladys Knight sitcom. He's got shows like, what was the one with Terrence Howard, where they were all lawyers? He's got that over there. Just the rarest of the rare of the 80s and 90s all black cast sitcoms you can find at Rare Gems. And they definitely get my vote. I don't know how he does it. Sparks, that was the name of the show. Thank you. So definitely go over there, subscribe. I would back this stuff up, quite frankly. I don't know how long it's gonna last or if it's meant to last. Out All Night is on there. Yup. All those shows, just take a minute, go to Rare Gems channel on YouTube. If you like what we do here at Real Black, he does even better as far as that type of entertainment goes. And the only show that no one seems to have, and maybe Rare Gems is the one that's going to dig it up, is the pilot for Divas with Khalil Kane and Lisa Nicole Carson is sort of like a singing group show. Yeah, I'm sure all that stuff, anything you can think of from the 80s and 90s, this black cast is probably on Rare Gems or about to come on Rare Gems. He's got the whole season of Homeboys from Outer Space, which a lot of people discovered on this channel. And, but, what I do, like, I only put one episode of something up just because, you catch a strike, you catch, it's over, game over, So, keep a backup channel. That's all I can say. Spring break starts next week, L Brown. So I'll be doing a little bit more of this than I have been. WB will block you instead of making revenue. Yeah, Warner Brothers. I seen Divas. Divas was very good. I saw it at the Museum of Broadcasting, and I wish it was more available. Do you think a majority black TV show will ever run like The Jeffersons with 11 seasons or more? Well, we got Queen Sugar for 7. So it still happens. It's just the audience is more fragmented, you know. Some of the, I'm trying to think, I mean, animation runs longest. Simpsons has been on forever, but yeah, Cash App. Yes, still smiling. Oh, so you're trying to circumvent the brother, Chelsea, by putting your Cash App on here. I said I'd forward it to you. Oh, I see what you're doing. Let me take a screen cap. I got you. I got you covered. All right. So what do you like on your pizza, Chelsea? So what tell me is Chelsea the one that asked for the pizza? We gotta get Chelsea a pizza. As well, we're definitely encouraged about posting more content on by Warner's. Yeah, I mean, well, just be careful. I mean, it's fun while it lasts, especially if you're able to get a check out of YouTube for posting up content. But it's no fun to wake up to those copyright strikes. So Chelsea, all right. Okay, I'm gonna send Chelsea some money. So, and hopefully I'll get reimbursed by the viewers. If we have 82 viewers, right? So if everybody sent $1, that'd be $82. Everybody sent $2, that'd be $160. What can I do with $160? What I can tell you exactly what I would do if I had $420, right? So if everybody watching donated $5, let's say, I could get these hard drives repaired. Sending one in tomorrow, just because I think my Terry Carter interview's on it. At this point, you have the juice now. Reelblack is a network. We did well. I'm not going to harp on it. I mean, when the money was coming in, we were doing it. It gave me the freedom to travel and capture information and do all that stuff. But we got the slap on the wrist, and I'm teaching now, and I'm doing what's necessary within my community. But I'm grateful that people are watching the content still. I've gotten over my bitterness and resentment phase of seeing YouTube profiting off of information that they would not have had access to, being a pawn in the game as opposed to a king in my own game. But it's a good life. I'm not upset. All right, whoa, there goes the lights. Do I have a way to plug it in? I'm not sure. Hang on. I gotta find this pizza money. Molly, you coming? Oh, she's like, Molly is so upset at me because I had to kick her out of the room. What about the simple picture video? Um, it's all fair use until they say it's not. I'll just put it that way. You can do whatever you want. Oh, City Guys. I have City Guys on DVD. Um, Thank you, Voyeur. Voyeur is the best. No meat, just cheese. Not picky at all. Oh, somebody. Okay. All right. Let me find this. I'll send you $20. It's good. It's called Good Karma. Um. Okay, Mr. M. Thank you. Uh, Geologic is helping to buy pizza tonight. So let me find. And yeah, you can get merch like this hat at the thing at the shop.reelblack.com. Let's see. All right, I'm scrolling. Still smiling 17. Okay, so from me and Geologic, uh, you'll have pizza tomorrow. Uh, and this is for Good Karma. That's what we want. Oh, and Crystalline is chipped in as well. She's put $5 in as well. So this is community. We're building community. So thank you, Christine. How do I do this? Still smiling 17. 20. Oops. $20. Pay. Pizza. Still, I need to put the dollar sign. I don't know why it's important. Still smiling 17. Is that, let me make sure I'm doing it right. Well, we're doing this together, Al. Let's see. I only put up half. Uh, yeah, that's your picture. Okay. Confirm. Pay. Okay. All right. Will be deposited once you complete the payment. So that's, I don't want to give you a real name. So enjoy. All right. So what is it now? We've got about 10 more minutes. I'll hang out. Ask me anything. And you're welcome, of course. Send me your Facebook page. I'll post a receipt. It's okay. Um, at this point, 5 came from Ja, 5 came from Chelsea, and 10 came from me. Oh no, you're Chelsea. Hang on. I'm like losing track of life here. Real Black is a network investment. No meat. Love your channel. Intelligent. Okay. I think we're caught up on the chat. Thanks for the history. You're welcome. Oh, you got it. Good. Um, so that's the power of community, right? Ask, closed mouths don't get fed. Truly appreciate it. Thanks for the memories you shared. You have a video store on Lennox in Harlem. Did you ever have a video store on Lennox Avenue in Harlem? No, no. I know what you're talking about. There's a place on 125th Street that has old videos. But Charles used to have a video store, Charles Woods, called the 43rd Chamber. And that's how he got, well, he was collecting before that, but that's where a lot of the content on the channel came from, his collecting back then. Must be. I look good in red, Hope? You think so? I got the Shabdoo shirt. And once again, Black is Beautiful, Jet Beauties of the Week book. I'm going to read it tonight. Um, I mean, it's a picture. Well, I want to learn the history behind it. I mean, I know a lot about Lamont, but I want to learn more. Jessica Tierra, hey fam. Yeah, so who else is in the chat? Hey, Professor Sherelle Williams, Professor. What do you teach, Sherelle? Hello, first time catching a live. Bookworm here, love the bookshelf. It's so disorganized. It's just my order, and then I got a lot of. I'm a big collector, so what's over here? I need to pull this out. Uh, uh, uh. Claude Anderson. Thank you, Peace. That one Mike D shares his collection. Show and Tell is my favorite. I showed everything last time. I ran out of stuff to talk about. So, but at voice cloning now, maybe what I can do is sell audiobooks of me reading and putting people to sleep, reading Powernomics to you. Mike Dennis reads Powernomics. How's that? I'm not. Oops, hang on. How's he doing? He's not doing well. Claude Anderson. I don't know. That's the one person we never reached out to was Claude Anderson. For whatever reason, it just seemed hard to get him. Really enjoy your channel. I had a marathon with the River Niger. Would you do that again? Well, what happened with the marathons? That's when the channel was still monetized, and it helped to increase the view counts, right? Because they not only count the number of views, but they count the number of hours that are watched, right? So that was a way to keep people engaged in the content. But they were charging, I forget the name of the company. It was a Russian company, Glyph or Gyre, Gyre, and they allowed you to do multiple live streams. Black Labor, White Wealth. Do I have that one? Yeah. But so we were paying for a service that allowed us to do those marathons. So we had a Dick Gregory marathon, we had a movie marathon, we did a Godfrey marathon, and people enjoyed that because they didn't have to start at the beginning and they could be engaged in the chat. But the minute they cut the money off, that was one of the first things I had to stop doing. So, if we get more numbers up on Reelblack 2, where we can do that again, I would love to have a movie feed and a Dick Gregory feed, going live at all times. Black Labor. I've read part of it. See, the spine is barely cracked on this. Dr. Claude Anderson. So, is it backwards to you, or is it just backwards to me? The importance of power for Black people. Without increased wealth and political power, Blacks cannot correct the multitude of social ills that have become embedded in the fabric of their communities, nor can they acquire the power they need through a shared power agreement with the dominant white society. Yeah, he's right. He's right. Um, yeah, I'll hang out for a couple more minutes. Any questions? Okay. Hey, Bonita. Oh, Bonita. That reminds me. Did you guys see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees? That could be breakthrough. Um, Tribe Called Quest got in. I'm trying to find the page. I can read the list. Questlove put it up on his Instagram a couple days ago. He's on the board of the Rock. Do people care about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I mean, um, you're welcome, Rochester. Uh, where's the list? Share, the Cool in the Gang. Where's the list? Um, let's see. Norman Whitfield, John Mayall, Big Mama Thornton, Jimmy Buffett, the MC5, Dionne Warwick, Suzanne DePass, Alexis Corner, Tribe Called Quest, uh, Ozzy Osbourne, Kool and the Gang, Peter Frampton, Foreigner, Cher, Mary J. Blige, and Dave Matthews Band. I would turn into a Dick Gregory marathon. Yeah, I mean, I want to bring it back. It just costs a chunk of money every month, and we're gonna do Christian. We've interviewed Christian, but we're gonna talk to him about AI. Next month, we're gonna have a Christian Gregory interview because AI. I'm curious. I haven't talked to him about it yet, but artificial intelligence is it for somebody like the Dick Gregory estate? Is that a good thing or is it a bad thing that you can do voice cloning and AI replication of images? And so we're gonna get deep into that, and then he's got some other things that he's ready to announce. So sometime in May, we're gonna talk to Christian Gregory, Dr. Christian Gregory, but depends on who you ask. Well, it's here. Artificial intelligence is here, so I think you have to get in front of it as a tool, and hopefully it'll be regulated so that ethics don't come into question. Um, you know, it's like you can clone somebody's voice so easily, and somebody who might be a little naive. It's already happened where people have had their voice cloned and they make a phone call. Hey, I've been kidnapped. Send money to this number right away, or else they're gonna kill me. Mom, dad, help me, that kind of thing. And over the phone, it sounds very, very close. And if you're estranged from your kid, you don't know how to get in touch with your loved ones, you might end up emptying your bank account to because of AI. So ethically, and there has to be some things in place. And you can't just clone anybody's voice and hold it forever and do certain things. Your voice print is just like your fingerprint now. And you should have certain rights um, assigned to that. So that people don't just use you. I would hope it'd be regulated properly, but I'm still getting spam, likely cause, and my Instagram is getting more and more hacked. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Voya, for putting that link up. Um, yeah, we sat with. He came over and we sat with him, but I only put a fraction of the interview up because what I discovered is like most people only watch a few minutes of something and then they tune out. So I'm grateful for everybody who has tuned in and listened to me ramble for 49 minutes and 47 seconds. But that's the entire basis of NIL and NCAA. Interesting. You have heard YouTube caps once you reach 5,000 likes. 5,000 likes. Well, yeah, you know, I'm not sure how many likes we've gotten on any of these videos, but if you haven't already, please click the thumbs up. We've got 97. Viral drip. Big Mama Thornton, mom and dad's hometown. She has a stretch of highway named after her. Ask me anything. Are Africans allowed to ask? I'm from Ethiopia. You can ask me anything. Whether I answer, that's a whole nother question. But go ahead, ask me anything from Ethiopia. Well, go ahead, shoot. I'm honored that you're up and watching. What is it about? 11 in the morning over there. I'm waiting. Caps the individual, not the platform. Likes. Okay. James Earl Jones sold his voice to Star Wars franchise for millions. It makes sense for him to do it. They're going to do it anyway, so why not get some money for it if you're James Earl Jones? Sit in a studio for half a day and read the alphabet and let them figure it out after you're gone. They're gonna do it anyway. So get the check. I'm waiting for Ethiopia, our friend from Ethiopia. I don't know. I'm waiting for the next question. Swami. Okay, I think he copped out. I'm gonna wait another minute. There's a war in Ethiopia, Congo. Why are you not talking about it? Good question. Because the mainstream media in the West does not make us aware of these things. They'd rather push the same three narratives over and over, and unfortunately, the war in the Congo is not one of them. So, pardon my ignorance. I know it's probably awful, but I just don't have enough information to go beyond that. Oh, somebody bought something from the store. Let me see exactly what it is. Uh, and I sent a thank you. Oh, Professor Sherelle, thank you for the donation. Um, okay. All right. So you have my email address, Professor. I teach as well, so we should definitely connect. And thank you for your purchase. And please represent. I'd love to see a photo of you wearing the gear. Did I miss the? Well, I was checking out, Professor. What are my thoughts on universal currency? It would give other countries too much power. Every hour it tells a scripture in its deep voice. That's interesting. You can ask Disney, New York. You see, okay. That's why the news of is the exact same news. So thank you, Professor Sherelle. Find an independent news source. I used to not make fun, but when I was younger, I never had time for Democracy Now. Now that it's on YouTube, I find myself watching it more and more. Just to have the alternative news. The same thing for a while there. I was into Young Turks, but they're only as interesting as what's going on in Democrat Republican. And but Democracy Now, they're going to talk about the protests at Columbia University 3 weeks before CNN does. So that's my alternative news source. Some information that you get on the web is a little too sketchy or esoteric for me. Al Jazeera is good. Yeah. They did a very good Dick Gregory interview, Al Jazeera. They push hard. Do you know that you're the world people of God? I affirm that. Yes. Um, but I just finished teaching course on race and ethnicity this semester at Temple, and it was a challenge because you want to tell the truth, but you don't necessarily want to alienate kids from coming to class, right? Because it's a general studies class. It's not just, I'm not teaching an HBCU, So you gotta, immediate coverage of Haiti is non existent at this point. But when the earthquake happened, I think they did okay. I know people went down there and helped out because of what was going on in the news. But you have to understand for things to stay relevant in the news, it can't. Well, it has to affect the bottom line of America, right? So whatever that happens to be, it's not newsworthy unless it affects the bottom line. And the fact of the matter is, Haiti's been written off for centuries at this point. At least 2 centuries since they freed themselves. So they don't want you to know how bad things are, how good things are over there. But yeah. So what was the thread? I got distracted by the chat. Oh, I was talking about the towing the line and teaching race and ethnicity at Temple. You don't want to alienate the white kids, but you want to tell the truth. And so you got to lead with, genetically, we know everything comes from black, right? There's no way around that. From what we know about genetics, the first human beings had pigmentation in their skin, right? So if you want to say we are the gods, we are the true people, and all that stuff, I don't dispute that based on that one fact. Then, you know, who has the power, who has the guns, who has the money, who steals the money, who steals the guns, who steals the weapons, who steals the ships, who feels that their God is the one that wants them to have everything. Oh, the pigeon's great, isn't it, Chris? With Sammy Davis Jr. So you want to teach that story as well, and how America is about conformity and buying into the belief system, you know, and part of that American dream is that everybody's equal and has certain unalienable rights and so on and so forth. So, do you think the movie Fences with Denzel was no? By no means was Denzel's best performance in Fences. Come on. Nor was it in Training Day. Nor was it in The Mighty Quinn. Malcolm X is Denzel's best performance, in my opinion. He's filming High and Low. High and Low is it right here? Usually I can put my hand right on it. I've got a Kurosawa shelf. Oh, did I pull it? Mm. I must have pulled my copy of High and Low. Maybe that's something I need to watch. Um, but they're remaking the Kurosawa film. Fallen was good. I'm still gonna say Malcolm X. It doesn't matter what you throw at me. I think Malcolm X is Denzel's best performance. He's done a lot of great performances, but okay. So, all right, I can smell the incense on some of these comments. Is it fair to say it's best because it's a real person? Um, there aren't too many people that could do that and get away with it. To be a movie star and transform himself into El Hajj Malik Shabazz, that's a tough job. And there's not, I don't know who, well, Barry Brown, I think, edited it. There's not a false moment in the whole film, and he carries the movie. He makes you believe that he's Malcolm X, and it's probably, I'm not going to say it's Spike's best film, but it's way up there. Yeah, he embodied the character exactly. Um, did you see them in Power at Chelsea? I'm not in New York. He got an Oscar for being a dirty cop. Well, he's never going to live that down. We're always going to have that conspiracy theory. Why? Why didn't he win for Malcolm X? You had him playing a dirty cop. Um, yeah, and I know there's some people that are older that didn't like Malcolm X at all because they identified with the real person. But coming of age, when I did, having read the autobiography of Malcolm X and seeing and being a fan of Spike Lee at that point in time, I thought it was exceptional. But I understand the criticism if you grew up. I mean, it's sort of the same reason why I'm not that interested in some of these newer biopics. Like I tried to watch Bob Marley, One Love, the other day. I had a trial subscription thing for MGM Plus, and I said, let me put this on, and the guy just didn't convince me. And now clearly I'll be, he's a good actor. He's not Denzel, but the establishment didn't want to give Denzel an award for playing. Yeah, I don't think they ever would. The establishment. I mean, the Oscars are a game in and of themselves, So we typically are rewarded for things that validate their idea of who we are, and also you have to wait your turn with the Oscars. So some most people that win an Oscar, unless it's like for an interesting like supporting actor or actress role, you've got to wait in line to get that Best Actor award. So most people that win Best Actor, Best Actress don't win for their best work. They win for the body of work. Like I'm about to watch Holdovers with Divine Joy Randolph, and I'm very curious. I mean, she's playing a cook or waitress or something in it, but apparently she's transformative in it. I'll watch it the next couple days and give my opinion. But so you'll see that more often where like even in Precious, she'll win an Oscar. Might be the only time she has an opportunity to win an Oscar, and they validate it. So Holdovers is good. It's on my list. I have the DVD from the library, so I'm gonna check it out. But we're at an hour. I don't know who's still up. If you have more questions, I can do. Did I listen to Dr. Clark's interview on Spike Lee questioning and before Malcolm movie? No, I never saw that. Is it on? It's not on the channel though, right? I mean, I'd be embarrassed. I haven't seen every John Hunter Clark video that's on the channel. I'm very familiar with them, but I didn't see that one. No, to answer your question. What are your thoughts on biracials from white mothers who only claim black when it benefits them? That's their right, Skylar. I have biracial kids in my family, and biracial, to quote Paul Mooney, everyone's biracial. It's the ones that claim it are the only ones that claim it are the ones that can prove it. It's within their generation, but everyone is mixed with something. And I know Ethiopia's in the house holding up the DNA. Wait a second now, I'm pure. But I've been to Africa, and I know that I'm mixed with stuff. So, but I mean, I don't scholar. I mean, honestly, I'm not. I feel like to each his own. We closed the class with the clip of the transracial man on from Atlanta, the 28-year-old who believes he's a 35-year-old white man who works at Coca Cola. So if it, life is hard. If that's what you need to do to survive, I'm cool. Now, I'll give you this, Skylar. When I think it was Tandy Newton, when she got on Instagram or Twitter and started apologizing for her light skin privilege, I thought that was a bit too much, right? And certain people in the entertainment business that play that ethnic card, so to speak, and they don't stand up for their black side of their lineage, to me that just shows a lack of integrity. But you can do with it whatever you want. Mulatto blues, okay. Um, so I hope I answered the question. I don't know if I did. I'm looking for high and low. I might. But I got one more day of class. I can't just play hooky. And I promised the kids donuts. That's my bribe to get them to show up. The last day of class, I'm gonna get donuts. I got to decide on Federal or Dunkin' Donuts tomorrow. If I order Federals, I gotta get them extra early. I might spring for the Federals. I just have to see what the price is compared to. Hey, Bed-Stuy's in the house. Liza, die. I feel like I know you. Cheesesteaks for everyone. Not everybody eats meat. Jibba jabba. That might be offensive to some people if I brought meat. Like, a good Federal donut or a good Dunkin' donut, you can take or leave. It's not a huge expense. 25 Criterion Channel 24/7 live stream. I don't have Criterion Channel. I buy the physical Criterions. That's my addiction. But I gotta slow that down in a minute. But I have so many Criterion movies on disc. Thanks, Ashkiro. Moxie, thank you. You're welcome. Long time follower, I've been through your loot to do monetization, everything. Appreciate all that you do. Yes. Make mine a maple cream. Okay. Well, no, Federal is interesting. I'm not, they probably do have like a maple cream kind of thing, but those are really expensive. Those are like $3 a piece or something. Yeah, I'm not, I love the kids, but I'm not, because some of them will eat half and throw it away. So I'll get the regular hot and fresh. I'll order them and I'll call in before I leave the house and then pick them up on the way. Dunkin' over Federal. Joy, what do you know about Federal Donuts? Are you from Philly? That's a Philly thing. Do you think gentrification is a positive theory for communities, or is it just, or it disappeared on me, a form of capitalistic bullying? Positive theory for communities. Um, oh, you're from Northern Libs, yeah. Well, if you're right around the corner from Federal, it's nothing special. I'll give it that much. But um, the only good thing about if I order 3 dozen, yeah, I need 3 dozen, 3 dozen Federal donuts. I'll keep those. But cake, donut, and coffee. So gentrification, it's good for if you can afford to stay in the community. It's not a bad thing to have white people living next door. and I'll say white people in the most generic, broadest sense of white people, Um, but if they price you out, they tax you out of your own community, and you don't get any benefit from the improvements that gentrification brings, then it is capitalistic bullying or a form of it. But you know, um, North Philadelphia is a prime example of gentrification helping the community overall. I used to live at 15th and Allegheny Avenue in Philadelphia, and it's very violent there, not too far from um, Wingahocken. What's the name of that place? Nicetown. Nicetown is nothing but nice. It's I don't know who named Nicetown, but it's not the nicest place in Philadelphia. And that's not to disparage anybody who lives there. I'm just making fun of the name. But I witnessed shootings and drug deals and all kinds of stuff when I was living at 15th and Allegheny. And, but for almost 2 decades, there was no place that you could buy fresh food. There was no supermarket. There was only the Poppy store. And then a guy named Brown, uh, they tore down part of the Tasty Cake factory, and they built a shopping center. Now, most of the shopping in that shopping center is hair, places to buy weaves and buy sneakers, but the anchor of that mall is fresh food. It's a grocery store, right? So I think when gentrification happens and it's not taking over the community but helping to build it, then it's a good thing. Oh, so rude! I had to give up. I missed the comment. Is Voyeur still around, or did he take off? Do we have any mods going? She's good. She'd love to live closer. Not possible. The dogs? Yeah, there's a lot more dogs. Somebody said Shakiro. Well, we got the whole channel got demonetized before the they were taking ID claims, and I was not making. We were getting a lot of views, but I wasn't making that much money off the content. Most of it was being channeled over to other people's accounts, but then they said they go over the reused content. That's something I have to just warn everybody about. They have I didn't know about the policy until it happened to me, but apparently they frown, even though half of YouTube is um, copyrighted material, they frown upon it and they don't pay you when you do it. Um, no, I was gonna say when they open pet stores and yoga shops, that's when the neighborhood's been gentrified. Like, you know, it's sort of like that joke at the end of Chris Rock's most recent special, Selective Outrage, where he talks about, what kind of neighborhood you live in by who's not working at 12 in the afternoon, right? So if you see a bunch of women walking around, and you're in a good neighborhood. If you see a bunch of men walking around at 12 in the afternoon, then you're in a bad neighborhood, right? That's paraphrasing his joke. I'm not a comedian. So anyway, I appreciate the love. I'm so glad that I jumped on to say hi and talk to folks. I want people who are watching now, if they're around at 6 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow, or 6 o'clock in the evening on the East Coast, 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the West Coast. I'll be on live on Floyd Marshall Jr.'s YouTube page and on his Instagram. So if you go and I'm not sure how it works, if my Instagram will be popping up as well, but I'll be talking more about what I do. Roy Wood Jr. I like Roy Wood Jr. I first started to pay attention to him not on the Daily Show, but when he did the correspondence thing, I thought he was good. Recent Christmas was rough. Props to you for actually finishing it. I saw Chris develop the show. It was very. I felt very privileged. I saw Chris Rock live about 5 times, maybe 6 times that last tour about British history using BBC Doc Archives, got ID claims and stuff. Yeah, I can't advise putting other stuff up. I mean, really, what's on the channel? It's like a pyramid or a monument at this point. The Reelblack One. I'm not trying to tip over the apple cart by putting more stuff up and risking copyright strikes. Um, what kind of music do I like? I like black music, primarily anything. And I like 60s music. Um, I took a black music class in college years ago, and I learned the whole history of from blues and gospel to jazz, and I just like how it makes me feel when I listen to black music. I'm looking right now. I can see Michael Jackson's off the wall next to Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, next to Whitney Houston, next to Stax Soul singles. You can see I've got Funkadelic on the wall and Bismarck on the wall. I just love. Oh, do I like Sweet Honey in the Rock? Not, no. That's the one I don't really get into. Strong black women singing all day. Nina Simone. It's an acquired taste, Sweet Honey in the Rock. Uh, do I prefer vinyl CD? I like Spotify and uh, Tidal now because everything is pretty much there. I don't have to go searching for it. I have enough acuity. If I think of it, I can just find it by searching on the streaming, and it saved me a lot of money. I used to spend at least when CDs were $15 a pop back in the '90s. I was spending upwards of $200 a month on music. Now I pay $15 and I keep it moving. Enough to start a museum. Well, that's kind. I still have an iPod Classic. I can't find this one. See, if I would, I never bothered to transfer all my music over to iPod. So so I didn't have a huge library of stuff um, that I had ripped, So I was really to, grateful and upset at the same time because I was like, you mean if I was born 15 years later, I would have never started to build a music collection? I could have saved all this money. I could just have it all at the tip of my fingers, you know. Um, don't let YouTube stop you. Maybe try love interviews. Yeah, I had to take some time off because I was teaching, but the intention is this summer to be more active on YouTube and keep the numbers up. Spring hit and we were averaging about 13,000 new subscribers a month on average. And now that number's gone down to about 10,000 a month, right? So I can see YouTube rewards people who put more content up most frequently. So while I can't do certain things that I used to do, I do want to make sure that we don't lose our numbers and our growth um, too much through attrition, So that's why um, I'm trying to create as much content and recycle content. Like you'll start to see more shorts based on our material. I was a little surprised. Well, Mike Voyeur pointed out to me that some other people had aggregated some of the Dick Gregory content and literally were getting millions, like 4 or 5 million views on one little short video clip of Dick Gregory. So I can't necessarily stop that, nor would I want to, because I think the message is important. But I feel like people should be getting that information from the source. Uh, do you back up your videos to other sites? No. I mean, I have all the videos here in the house on hard drives, and what it looks like is going to happen is in the next year or so, there's some archives that are interested in having copies of the stuff that we put on the channel. So they're stealing, yeah, but what, you know, I can't be the pot calling the kettle black. Um, it's a wild west to a certain extent. Now, what would be favorable would be if my original content that exists on the web was monetized to me without me having to make claims. That would be the best of both worlds. Like the minute you put the video up, the same way if I put a song up or something, it would be identified and say, hey, wait a second, you can put that up, but the money's going to go to Reelblack. That would be the best of both worlds. But you can't hate the game. I don't think I've ever seen an 8-track to be used before. I got a soundbar. I can show you an 8-track. Where did I put my 8-tracks? Give me 1 second. Molly, you coming on? You coming on? Comparison. Okay. Dead media history. I'll bring Molly in. So this is a cassette tape, right? This is from Charles's collection. So that's a cassette, and this is an 8-track. Anyway, showing off. He's a live remember. It's funny how. All right, I'm almost done. Can you post your Facebook link? It's Michael Dennis on Facebook, Chelsea. And I'm on Instagram and Twitter. It's a heavy duty film. It's the same. It's like it's a recording tape, but what it does, like on a regular cassette, the tape is on 2 reels, right? On an 8-track, it's 1 reel that is an endless loop. So when it gets to one end of the tape, it recycles back into itself, right? And then the tape is wider, right? Because the audio records onto 8 tracks, right? Which is 4 stereo tracks, right? So one track will be left, the next track will be right, then it goes to another track and another track and another track. But the tape never runs out. It just rotates back into itself, right? So it's a loop instead of 2 reels. And it's wider than the regular cassette. but it's made of the same material. And then it's 4 different programs, right? I hope I'm explaining this well. I'm sure there are other people that know about 8 tracks, but each program is a stereo recording of a certain number of songs. And what you would do would be when you wanted to switch or skip ahead, you'd push the button and it would move the tape head down a notch or up a notch to get to the next track on the tape, right? So, for instance, track 1 has about 10 minutes of music, like, 3 songs or 4 songs. And then track 2 would have the same amount of material. Track 3 would have the same amount of material. So you could fit an album's worth of material on one cassette. And this might be a better example. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4. So every time you push the button, you go to the next track, right? So it says 8 tracks, but it's really 4 different tracks that are stereo, right? And it's an antiquated format. I hope I explained that. Gen Z lost old technology. When will Riverbend be released on DVD? We're working on it. We have some screening set up for the fall. I see, Sherelle. We have some screening set up for the fall. We're trying to get into a festival in June, which I can't announce yet because I don't want to jinx it. And hopefully we'll have it on Blu-ray, not DVD, but Blu-ray in time for next Black History Month or Juneteenth. I think next Juneteenth is probably the time that we're aiming for to get it out there, because it's about freedom. You could record on 8 tracks, but primarily it was for something you could play in the car, but you could record on these. I think the difference was there's a tab. I think this notch here, if I'm not mistaken, I'm thinking back. Like a regular 8 track that you could record on doesn't have this notch, right? So if you wanted to record over this, you'd put tape over the notch and then you could record on it if you had an 8 track recorder. So, auto reverse feature for the tape so you don't have to flip. Yeah, they created you could, I had an 8 track recorder. My grandfather, I wish I still had those tapes, but when my grandmother moved, she threw away the 8 track recorder and the tapes of him whistling out of ID claims. Ashkiro, I don't know. I mean, the ID claims are going to happen if you're using things that are different than what you created. It's just you have to decide how important the content is. Liza, it was just random. I only have a couple 8 tracks, and they happen to be Stevie. Okay, let's see. You had a 8 track recorder, played and recorded, just like a cassette player, like a Walkman. You could just play tapes. Then you had like consoles, like a 8 track console that you could plug a microphone into and record. How can you support the Reelblack YouTube channel? Make a donation through Cash App, PayPal, support by watching. Reelblack One and Reelblack Two. Give us some views. Tell other people about us. Get those subscriber numbers up. All of that helps us to get more interviews and create more content. You know, money is nice, but just your attention is the most important thing, I think. But let's see. Highlights 8 tracks. Every progressive. Do you think of technology as our God? That's interesting. I've heard that before. Murder, murder. Um, there's an argument that technology brings us closer to God. The speed of thought as we discover more about how the universe works. Now we can only discover but so much because our lifespans and our ability to see and perceive things, even when we have machines to take us into outer space, we can only speculate as to what's there. But I'm of the belief system of as within, law of correspondence, as within, so without. So I think you don't have to travel to outer space to get a sense of how vast the universe is. If you look inward, you'll find the same, and the same if you take a mic. Just what would be just as fascinating as the spectacle of seeing the Earth from the perspective of the moon. You could look into a microscope or electron microscope and see entire universes in just one atom, or a crystal or something like that. So I think the world is endlessly fascinating, and everything is a form of consciousness. And yes, it has a vibration. Brings you closer to God. Hiking, yes. Uh, I'm laughing at Lenny's comment. Now everybody's having flashbacks. We got the older crowd, people remembering Chrysler Cordovas. Didn't Voyeur, didn't Ricardo Montalban sell Chrysler Cordovas at one point? Do you think O.J. Simpson's young son could have committed the crime? Anything could have happened, but I think if you watch the trial video, um, the defense won the case. He was found not guilty. It's up to the state to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. And two things: when the glove didn't fit, and when Mark Furman perjured himself by saying he never used the N word, those two things were enough to create reasonable doubt in the case. And that's why OJ walked. But, and it's not up to Johnny Cochran or any of the defense team to provide uh, another alternative to who was guilty of the murder. It's up to the state to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. Otherwise, you'd have countless innocent people in prison for no reason other than lack of fair, and we still do. Not to say we don't, but it'd be probably 10 times more people in prison if we didn't use this. The concept of uh, I'm getting old, due process. So OJ was given his due process. He got a good team of lawyers. He never admitted guilt, and he was proved innocent. Um, you know, because they were not able to prove that he did it. There was just too much reasonable doubt put into the minds of the jury. So, and um, that's not to say anything. Rest in peace, OJ, but also rest in peace, Nicole. uh, Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. It was a terrible thing, but what it did do, it shined a huge light on the American justice system. It shined a huge light on the inequalities that exist between white and black in this culture, in this system, this society, and it's one for the history books. But domestic violence is not cool, and you know, OJ probably should have been arrested, if not gone to jail for some of the things that we know he did do to his former wife. So it's just tragic that murder would happen, and that celebrity in everyone's eyes. OJ was the king of all that stuff in the 70s and 80s. He projected this idea of uh, his fame overshadowed his guilt. And I'm not talking about murder. I'm talking about domestic violence. So the police did a disservice by not listening and taking. Oh, he's OJ. He would never do that. And the woman's got two black eyes. So I always thought OJ knew who did it, but did not commit the crime. Let's see what happens to the orange dude. Um, I think we can be. You know, it's interesting if you watch that trial video again, and we watched it twice last week or 2 weeks ago. We played it live straight through. Um, it's irrelevant whether OJ knows who did it or he didn't. The fact of the matter is, Furman perjured himself, and the prosecution put up a faulty argument. But even they were starstruck by OJ. And, how many times did Chris Darden say in the opening statements, don't be clouded by the fact that this guy is one of the best running backs that ever ran? No, I think, unfortunately, with celebrity, and unfortunately with black celebrity more frequently, we have this duality of presence. We're seeing it now with Puff Daddy. Not to say that he's committed any crimes, but clearly there's some dual personality at work. There's his public image, brother love, and then there's his private image, which is, very abusive, physically and emotionally towards other people. And that's something that society, the people that, you could say there's two sides of the same coin, right? So you could say that we build people up to tear them down, but at the same time, we also have to reckon with our own perceptions sometimes when more information comes out and more truth comes out. So not everybody is their public image. And we saw that with Cosby. We see that with OJ. We see that with Puff Daddy. And I think it's an interesting thing. Unfortunately, we as Americans live way too much through other people's, we live too vicariously through other people. We don't concentrate on ourselves too often. I appreciate the love on Black Girl. Yeah, Black Girl's great. I wish it was restored. That's one that I would definitely, if I had the opportunity, make a restoration of and get out in its most pristine possible presentation. Black Girl's a great film. Let's see. Did the glove belong to his son? Well, I don't know. You guys weren't, if you were around at the time of that thing, They had pictures of OJ wearing black isotoner gloves that were very similar to the ones found at Rockingham on national television. That's still photographs of him holding when he was broadcasting football wearing those same gloves. They talked about the shoes that were never found again. So if he didn't have Johnny Cochran, I think he probably would have been under the jail. He just had an amazing defense. Um, those gloves were so commonly, well, that's the reasonable doubt voyeur. But isotoner gloves, the shoes, all that stuff, it's circumstantial evidence is what it is. It's not necessarily common. It's not enough to place him at the scene. And there was enough time for him to establish alibi, where he couldn't be at the scene according to his argument, that he was asleep at home. So, again, in this day and age, had he done it, there would have been video, the eyewitnesses, his phone would have tracked his location. There would have been no question if he had done it where he was exactly at every minute of the day if they wanted to find that. But, this is pre-internet, this is pre-cell phone, um, this is pre-DNA. What was interesting about that trial, watching the trial again, F. Lee Bailey's literally trying to explain what DNA means to the jury. Now we have a greater understanding of what DNA represents, um, and how the odds that the blood found in the car at the crime scene and so forth could only belong to one person. But back then in 1994, 95, you really had to explain that to people. So, you know, um, I go by the Made in American documentary. I think it's an excellent piece. It is a establishment telling of the story. So if you're at all skeptical or you don't trust mainstream media, then Bruno Magli's shoes, thank you. If you don't trust mainstream media for any reason, then there's no reason to believe that documentary. But it's one of those questions. But I don't question the fact that OJ was found not guilty. I'll leave it at that. Put out hit pieces on OJ for the last 20. Yeah, I would have hated to be in OJ for the last 25 years. I mean, I don't know how he slept at night. Being a pariah in a sense, but he's still with Paco Rabanne cologne. What do you think? Why do you think of our tap dancing as a lost art? Um, there's other money to be made. I don't know. It's a very good question. Any unreleased Dick Gregory footage? Yes, I have Dick Gregory footage that's not been seen. Um, Mainly talking about the making of a movie he did called "It Don't Rub Off, Baby," Sweet Love Bitter. But tap dancing. Well, I mean, it's like anything in the 30s and 40s that falls out of fashion. I know there was a revival with Savion Glover. Uh, it may come back, but dancing. Oh, I'll put it this way: dancing is part of a mating ritual, right? If you're a good dancer, you attract women. And I don't know what happened in the last 15 or 20 years, but you don't need to know how to dance. You don't need to know how to talk. You don't, you barely need to know how to sing to attract women nowadays. right? So there's no incentive for anybody to be good at anything. If you women out there, and I'm gonna call you all out, I'll go viral with this. If y'all women are just giving it away for free, and men don't need to know how to dance, sing, act, talk, be funny, there's not gonna be any good tap dancers. It's like you don't even have to Netflix and chill anymore. Just like say, did just send a DM and you get it. You don't have to do nothing. Any lady still wear Charlie perfume. Voyeur's not having it. Voyeur's happily married. Just like Polo cologne. I wear Polo. That's my scent. I'm a Ralph person up and down. But I guess that's my only opinion. Nobody else likes my sense of humor. Well, Greg Hines is dead. Sandman is dead. They have tap dancing classes still. They also have pole dancing classes. I'm telling you, I'm right on this. Um, if you want to see good dancers, you have to insist on it. Not the green polo bottle. I love this. Well, then we can't be. I love my green polo. I have all the polos. I have the black, the red, the blue, and the green. But the green is the one I like the most. So if I smell like an old man, then that's on me. But I like the scent. I've gotten compliments on my scent, and I like that. Did I question anything that Dick was saying? I love the conversations you have. Very interesting. I learned very early on not to question or be devil's advocate while Dick Gregory was talking. So, but it didn't matter. He was going to yell at you anyway. Like if you question him, if you didn't question him, he was going to find something to get angry about. So, um, yeah. Molly, come say hi. I know how to get her. I'm going to pull this out. Running out of these. She's asleep over there, but I'm going to see if she comes over. Molly. Okay. Molly. Stand up. Come here. All right. She's getting old. You should see her. She's like, oh, I got to get up now. What's going on? I was sleeping. I was doing all right. You want treats? Treats? Here she comes. Hey. Hey, girl. Boyer wants to say hi. He's like, make sure you get lots of treats. Come up here. She thinks I'm still mad at her. Am I doing this? Oh wait, who just walked in? Adangabi is here. Okay, I didn't catch you. Okay, there you are, De Lorenzo Cologne. Hey, my British friend. Come here. Up, up. All right, here she comes. Come on. Hey, say hi. Love the smell. I'm about to go listen to Understanding Part 1. Molly wants a cracker treat. I just have temptations tonight. Hey, say hi. Treats? She likes to stick her head in there. Go ahead, get some treats. No, get in there. She's funny. Oh, so like I said, um, hey, greetings from Ghana. No, I used to have dogs. Come here. Hey, Molly. So, anyway, it's been on for almost 2 hours. 110 minutes. So that's it. So tomorrow, like I said before, I'll be on live for at least an hour with Floyd Marshall Jr. on his YouTube channel. And hopefully he'll let me repost. Thank you. I appreciate the love. Skims. Thank you for everybody who donated. We bought a pizza tonight collectively. I feel good about that. And I got a book for free, so I'm happy about that. Wow, look at the back. And what else did we learn? Uh, OJ's innocent. Cool cat. Hey, say hi. Did you eat them all? Don't book yet. FU2 is here. Thank you. Thanks for the Cash App the other day. FU2. Appreciate it. And somebody else donated that we didn't get. Oh, Voyeur. You sent money on PayPal and it didn't show up on my notifications, but I did see it and I do thank you. So that makes a big difference. So what I'm gonna do next is get one of these hard drives fixed and see what's on it. I found a place that could do it cheaply. If they do a good job, I'm gonna give them a big shout out because this literally is footage. This literally is footage that I haven't seen in over 10 years. I believe I know what's on the drive, but I'm not sure. So I'm gonna spring to get it done for a small amount of money. Small YouTube channels been demonetized and I still make it do from donations. I hope you're getting over. Well, there's only so much you can ask for. I mean, we have a very loyal following. Um, I don't want to keep ringing the bell for donations. Um, I want the channel. I want channel two to get to 100,000 subscribers, but I know in order to do that, I've got to populate it with new content. I can't just put up old videos that have been up for 10, 15 years and expect that people are going to watch it. Do you think receiving a spanking builds up consciousness and more? Or do you beat your kids? How often do you beat your kids? Murder. Uncontrollable emotional reaction. I think there's ways to discipline your child without traumatizing them for life. But, I was spanked. It didn't necessarily hurt me, but, it depends on who you are as a human being. If you don't realize that the spanking comes from love, then it could traumatize you for life, and then you start to repeat those cycles, and then you get into the whole black thing of like, we discipline, like being spanked is different than being whipped with extension cords and stuff like that. And that cycle of abuse really does stem, in my opinion, from the trauma that we have in our DNA from slavery. So, I think we need to stop some of that, but at the same time, words, putting people in the timeout and language and all that stuff, sometimes you just want to, have, discipline. And, there's a very good book. I have it over there. I don't want to get up again. Bell Hooks wrote called Salvation? Or was it called Love? Wait, hang on. I got to get up. Molly, take over. That's a good book. I'll end with this. Let me see. Bell Hooks. Yeah. Okay, my bell hooks. So she's my go-to when it comes to that question. So she's got a book all about love, communion, the female search for love, and salvation, black peoples and love. Right. So the core premise, now I feel like I'm teaching. The core premise of Salvation, which is a very good book, it's full of essays. So it's a quick read, is that we repeat the traumas that we inherited from slave time, right? And you may or may not believe it, but she presents a very strong argument for that. And basically, and I got into trouble with Paul Mooney because he expressed the same thing when we interviewed him, is that uh, we beat our kids, we collective we beat our kids because there was a time when if your kid did not learn the lesson, he could lose his life by the hands of the master, right? So it just made sense to whip and abuse our children out of love, from a position of love, a love standpoint, um, not as punishment, but to say, the old saying, this is going to hurt me more than it hurts you. That's what bell hooks is talking about in Salvation. That tradition comes from this idea that if you didn't teach your children the lesson, that the punishment that the white man would place on them would be far more severe and could cost them their lives, right? But and that's the premise of the book. But in realistic practice, it needs to end because some people harbor that sentiment and use it as abuse. It's just straight up abuse. So I got whippings, but I wasn't with extension cords, and I didn't have to go pick out a switch and all that other stuff. And at a certain age, I stopped getting spankings altogether. But you know, yeah, that's all I got on that one. But yeah, bell hooks is the go-to if you want the opinion. This is the book to get. All right, we're at 1 hour, 118 minutes, 120 makes it 2 hours. So any final thoughts? You're welcome, Mimi. Uh, the name of the book is Salvation. I'm a wooden spoon survivor. Yeah, those are real. No, we didn't. It was just hands in my family. I never got beat with anything more than a hand. Um, being on punishment. Yeah, when you get older, being on punishment is probably worse than any physical experience. Is the drive broken? All you need are connections. So you plug in. No, the drive broke. I mean, it was Seagate. I'll never buy another Seagate hard drive. They just stopped working, and after you fill them up, that's the problem. They work fine, and then when they're full of all the information that you need, that's when they stop working. So I'm gonna try this guy. He says he can back it up, like fix it by using. He's got a way to fix it, and it's gonna be under $500. I have 3 hard drives in total that have stopped working that I need to get information off of. So I'm gonna give him a play, and if it works out, then once every quarter I'll send him another drive to get fixed. So we had a special belt. Oh, all right. You're gonna call out your family now. Don't say you were touched here. I don't wanna know how bad it got in your family. I mainly got hit, spanked 3 and 4, and I remember it sticks to me. What was the worst lie I ever told my parents? I didn't break it. I don't know. Did I ever lie to my? I don't lie now, hardly. I don't. I'm not a good liar. If I lie, I end up telling the truth sooner or later. Um, Biggest issue being black in America is being a part of a system that doesn't even recognize us as humans. Well, I agree. The whole nature of it is to dehumanize and other people, and I mean, black is the most obvious, but I think it's, gay, anything different than the American norm gets hit. And if you can't melt into it, you're gonna constantly feel that trauma. If you don't have a sense of your own identity, you're gonna constantly feel victim to that trauma. So I always tell the truth even when I lie. Tony Montana. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody lies, but I'm not. I try to be honest with my lies. So if that makes sense, I try to be honest at all times, even when I'm lying. So black people too forgiving and not accepting of other people while not having knowledge of self. Knowledge of self is key, and honestly, that's what the channel is all about. It's you can't hide the lies as easily. We're not necessarily all attuned to reading a book or understanding. Like, I mean, bell hooks writes at a very high level, right? So not even it's not always accessible to the average person, but if you put a video up, you can reach a lot more people with it. Like like I mean, I think most people at a certain age read autobiography of Malcolm X, but now we're at a time where we have recordings of him on video that we can actually watch and see from hear from his own mouth what he was saying. So I think that's what's helping to transform people is the fact that a lot of this information was recorded in a way that when history repeats, we can say, oh, this is the same old. This is not anything new. This happened in 1978. It happened in 1968. It happened in 1958. And I'm not going to go for the okey doke. And Voyeur, he's talking about Keras One. He's quoting Keras One. My question for you is, what is your motive for starting a YouTube channel? Hello. It was mainly, I mean, we started in 2007. YouTube started in 2005, right? So when I heard about YouTube, I just saw it as an opportunity to get what I was doing locally on public access channel to reach more people and to be archived, right? Because it would only play a couple times and then it would disappear. So I said, well, let me put all the content that I'm creating for public access up on YouTube. And but it wasn't until we met Dick Gregory that we actually had a brand. Before that, uh, I wasn't repeating content. And before that, I wasn't interested necessarily in putting up archival material that reinforced the concepts that Gregory was preaching. He opened my eyes to a lot of things. So the impetus was just to catalog the work that I've been doing as a filmmaker here in Philadelphia, but it grew much further beyond that, and we grew with YouTube, which is interesting. We weren't a major hit out the box, but I learned how um, it works and what it works. I don't know if she's still here. The way to build a YouTube channel is by having low cost, repeatable content. If you know, and then you can attract an audience. I truly believe that if you're passionate about something, that there's going to be at least 50 other people that share your passion. And if you decide that you want to build a YouTube channel or social media platform around your passion, you can eventually put yourself. You can possibly, not eventually, possibly put yourself in a position where your joy becomes um, your job. And I think YouTube, despite the restrictions, is a great job because most people would do it for free. You know, uh, make content and share it. You know, I'm a very sharing person, so I love sharing. Don't let you to until they know how to read and spell. Interesting. Black people have been in the idiocracy for the last, I'd say, longer. If you, um, I know a lot of black people that won't read or watch anything they can learn from. Well, that's a big problem. Oh, that's the idiocracy. Um, yeah, I mean, this is not for everybody. I mean, that's something that I learned from Dick Gregory. I mean, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. But what's so great about YouTube is you can go viral at any minute. And what I try to do with my plot of sand on this thing is when you see that logo, it means it's worth your time, right? That's what I try to reinforce. Like, you know, and we put the watermark on most everything that's posted on the channel. So if you're at all inquisitive, you have a way of tracking it down, right? But yeah, most social media is tied into ignorance and lowest common denominator. Not saying that we try to go highest common denominator. We don't want to necessarily be obtuse or out of, that's a big word. We don't want to be out of people's range of um, accessibility, you know. So, you know, for every Malcolm X speech, you're going to get thugaboo, which I think is ignorant. You know, I mean, it's to me, it's next to Good Times, you know, cartoon. But a lot of people grew up with it, and it's their nostalgia. They like the Wayans brothers, and they think it's funny. You know, so if that attracts them to the algorithm, the same when we had Baller Blocker up from the Cash Money Millionaires. You know, that was it wasn't cap. It was just a way to bring more people into the algorithm that otherwise wouldn't check us out. Scrabble word for sure. Obtuse. That word got Andy Dufresne hurt. Okay, all right. 61 people in the room. A lot of people have tuned out. It's getting late. I got to teach tomorrow, even though I don't necessarily feel like it feels like it's over already, but I got to show up and do what I do. So, yeah, Skylar, thank you for hanging out. I know you're here the whole time. I really appreciate you hanging out with me. Molly already went back to sleep, and, you know, my voice is a little tired. So, I got to price out donuts. That's my promise to the kids. I'm going to bring 3 dozen donuts to class. If I got to get them from Dunkin', if I got to get them from Federal, I got to figure out how much it's going to cost. Hope, thank you. Davis, thank you. 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 All right. I'm out. Peace and blessings. Love you all. How do I turn this off now? Where's the off button? Where's the off button? Thanks, Al. Now, everything's good. You know, I'm just stating facts. Everything is good. Peace.